my.
I can't give you crap for not knowing SpongeBob stuff.
That just depends on what you consider a unicorn, then, right?
Something with one horn, I guess. It's like if a spike butt.
A unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, no.
One corn, a single corn. All right, we're back. It's been about a year, but here we are. You know, I did notice we actually missed our 1 year anniversary by quite a bit.
Oh no!
Yeah, we've been doing the podcast over a year now.
Well, happy anniversary.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it's been longer than that.
It has been. It's been like a year and a half.
Oh.
Like we missed it. And we're also like to episode 30 something too.
Nice.
So, yeah. So, anything happened to you this week?
Well, there's 4th of July.
That's true.
I should probably put this closer to my face. I
So.
forgot to move it closer. 4th of July, and then my birthday, and then, yeah, that was about it.
Cool.
My nephew was in town. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. My nephew is also in town, but he's always in town, so.
Like, you only have one.
My nephew.
No.
You do not acknowledge one until they, like, get sentience, understanding, self-awareness. Self-awareness, that's what I was looking for.
He's waiting for them to make sure they choose their gender first.
How about you, Adam? Anything happened to you this week?
All kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No.
Let's say that's new.
No. Nothing really this week. Just working out. That's it. Working and working out.
Cool. I also had 4th of July, of course. At your house, so we already covered that. It's pretty standard 4th
Watched
of July.
fireworks like everybody else.
Yep.
Ate junk food.
Yep.
Gosh, I had so much junk food.
Enjoyed my freedom as an American to be fat and happy and watch things explode.
That reminds me, fireworks should be tax exempt.
I agree.
Like, it is a celebration of the day we rebelled for paying too much in taxes. I mean, there's other reasons too, but that was like the catalyst.
And I think that we should make a company in England make the fireworks and send to us for free every year.
That's great.
That's their pittance.
I love it. Well, should we pop on 3?
Sure.
Do you want to count?
1, 2, 3.
It worked, whatever you were doing, because I didn't get... and it popped on 3.
I was hoping it didn't make you spill it or something. That's all
I was
worried
distracted. I was like, what is going on?
I didn't have someone reaching their hand in my lap, and I still almost spilt mine. That's just because I'm clumsy.
Well, I did spill.
I think you did.
Every time.
I think you did it last time too.
Yeah.
It looks like our skit turned out pretty well on it was TikTok or Instagram.
Which one?
The one where we get the HR. The HR one I think went pretty well.
Yeah. A lot of those have been doing good on YouTube Shorts and TikTok. We reached 40,000 views the other day.
Really? On one video?
No,
Or just
on
in
the
total?
channel. On the channel, yeah. On YouTube, on just YouTube. Which is
Nice.
pretty nice, yeah. I'm pretty happy with that.
Moving on up.
Yeah, no, I think the most we have on one video is like 5,000.
Wow.
Yeah. We have quite a few that have like 2.5 thousand though. That one with you and me and Ibram and the bears and stuff, where you're like,
Yeah.
what's the coolest animal?
Mm-hmm.
And you say moose.
I
That one
didn't say
did
that
very
was the
well.
coolest. I said it was a cool animal.
that one did pretty well. Everyone was on your side, so
That's good. They're
Yeah.
the only species of megafauna in North America.
which is cool. I still don't understand how megafauna works, but
Neither do I, because like some animals you'd expect to be are
Yeah.
not, and some animals you expect are not actually are.
right. Yeah.
Like camels are, but like, if I remember correctly, it's hippos aren't.
Weird.
Or no, hippos are. There's another large animal that's not. I don't know what the
Elephant.
like cutoff is or what the actual
I
definition
would think
is.
elephants are. They're quite literally the most mega land
Mhm.
animal, so they better be.
Triceratops. T-Rex.
I'm sure. I'm sure they would be considered megafauna when they were alive, right?
Probably.
Dinosaurs.
Are there any species other than mammals that are megafauna currently alive? I think I said
don't
that
know.
wrongly.
Like Komodo dragon, maybe.
Those are still not that big. Like, they're big for a lizard, but like
I mean,
6
they're
feet
like-
long. But
Right. That's pretty scary.
they aren't like
What about like whales and
moose
stuff?
size. Those are still mammals.
Right. I'm just saying, are they megafauna?
I would
Or-
think so.
Interesting. Well, questions? I guess.
Ibram asked like 2 months ago. I don't know if this one was ever got to. Cringiest thing to you that has happened at church.
I don't know if I want to answer that.
Hmm. Oh, dang. I have like an incident in my brain, but I can't remember.
It's because your
It very well.
your mind's shutting it out,
Yeah,
trying to block you from the bad thoughts.
it was really funny. Can you think of any, Ethan? I feel like you definitely have something for this.
I had one Sunday school teacher who, like, she oftentimes spoke before she thought, and then I think out of embarrassment would just double down and didn't want to admit she was wrong.
Ooh.
So, like, one time she said, we don't celebrate Easter because it's when Jesus rose from the grave. We celebrate it because it's just a Christian version of Passover. Which I think what she was meaning is because it happened on Passover weekend, but she just mixed up her words, but that's like the least of it. She also asked someone who has a dad with a disability if they knew what paralyzed meant.
Oh.
And their dad is paralyzed, and
What?
Did she not know that?
kind of hard to not know it, like
It wasn't one of the Browning kids, was it?
Oakley Browning.
Goodness gracious.
She also told one girl, it was just me and another girl in Sunday school at the time, and whenever the other kid got the question wrong and I got it right, she was like, see, this is why homeschooling isn't valid, and because they're not as smart, righties. And I'm like, I was homeschooled. Like,
That's so crazy to even say.
Amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
So just so you know, I prepared myself for him to say, like, she touched him or something. I just...
oh my gosh.
It took him so long to get to what she did at the beginning part that I was like, I was just preparing myself for something awful.
No, nothing like that.
That's good. Man,
I don't really have anything like that. I mean, the only thing I can really think of, and I mean, I always thought it was kind of cute anyways, but like the church that you guys go to, the old lady that couldn't sing in the right pitch.
yeah.
But I don't really call that cringy, because I always thought it was kind of cute her singing anyways, but
Right, yeah. Yeah. People bring that up all the time. Still,
Yeah.
just like
Well, it
Linda
was
Marge
great.
and her
oh
singing.
yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
You always knew when she was singing for sure. She couldn't get lost in the crowd of people singing.
Yeah.
I also feel like there are some like word flubs that like happened at
yeah.
church that are cringy that I don't want to say. Like I've been going to the same church, so it's my whole life except for like a 1 4-year period where I stopped going for a while, went to a different church, and then started going back because I got lazy and stopped wanting to drive to Evansville every week. And because I feel like going to church with family is important, and I was tired of going to church by myself.
Right.
No, I can understand that for sure.
So I don't want to just like call out like things my pastor has said and like that were obviously just word flubs, but or even if they were really funny, because I don't want to like embarrass or him to see it and then one day confront me about it. Like
That's fair.
be like, hey, I saw you.
I mean, do you really think that he's watching these?
He actually does.
Does he really?
He actually does, yeah.
Pastor Mark,
Hi,
what's up?
Pastor Mark.
I was gonna say, didn't he comment on our creation debate?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's definitely watched a few of them. Because he's commented a few times, but... Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember any specific times, but man, it's you that's been sending me, you and Abram both, I think, have been sending me, like, awkward sermons or whatever.
Yes,
that are like, oh my goodness, man.
there's an Instagram page, Christians Who Curse Sometimes. It's like fantastic. It's like sometimes it started out just like edgy Christian memes that would drop an F-bomb occasionally, and like it's became a whole-on community where it's like in their stories they have serious discussions on like where Christians can respond anonymously, but then they also have they'll post awkward sermons you can't unhear that are just great.
Have you heard the one where the preacher's talking about how much money he makes? Have you heard that one?
All of Kenneth Copeland's preaching.
Well, I don't know if it's him or not. I actually found this on another podcast, but he's like, I can't believe how this guy. So he's up there. He's talking about like how expensive his watch is. Like basically, his watch is worth more than anybody else's house.
Jeez.
And he's like happy about it, and everybody else is actually cheering about that. It's so now I mean, that would be cringy to me if I was in there.
Right, for sure.
It's like I started off, it starts off kind of like I don't know what the sermon was about, so I don't know if it somehow led into this, but it was really, he ended it very odd. But he's like, I started off with a $30,000 house, which I think most people do. Yeah, it's pretty common. But he's like, now my watch is worth $30,000.
Not now. There ain't a $30,000 house out there now.
Well, that's very true. But like he starts off by like how he starts off right, but then he's just like, now my house is worth. I mean, I can't remember how many. $100,000 house, he has. Like, my watch is worth more than anybody's house probably in here. And I mean, just, everybody's just cheering and stuff.
Man, that's scary.
Oh, man. Reach deep in your pockets.
Yeah. I've got all this money. Now,
pass
everyone
around the
please give me
offering.
money. Yeah.
I'm sure you collect offering before the end of that.
I have all this money, but I need more. That way I can do ministry faster.
Can't be on a plane with just regular people who are unsaved, because that's just like a
Demons
hive
in a
for
tube.
demons in a tube.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely need like 14 planes too.
Yep.
Like one can get you from A to B really quick. 14 does the exact same thing, but
Cost 14 times as much
right.
to show off your wealth and how much God has blessed you. How much you've tricked people into giving you. Probably
Yeah.
more accurate.
Right.
I'm not a fan of prosperity preachers. If
No.
that's something that
I'm sure you're not the only one. I'm not either.
It sounded like the couch was talking. I was. What was
I was
happening?
getting a phone call.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gonna send a text real quick.
So we already said anything happened to you this week, but we've been gone for like a couple months. So is any significant stories
yeah.
from the past few months? You broke a state record.
Yeah, multiple
What?
state records. So
Yeah.
it's so if for those who don't know how it works, there's different groups for powerlifting. You got like the USPA.
Oh, something lame like that. I thought something important like
US,
fishing or
USA powerlifting, ADFPF. But I do all drug tested groups. The ADFPF, I broke the state deadlift record for 633 pounds. And then I did USPA. I broke the Indiana state record with 650 pound deadlift, and the bench press for 402.
Really beat the bench press record?
So now this, I do want to preface this by saying it was also for my age group. The deadlift is
Okay.
not. So the deadlift was open.
Okay.
But the bench press was for submaster, which is 35 to 40.
Okay.
So if you do open, which every group has these age groups, but open is
Right.
for anybody. But if you are between like 20, I can't remember, like 21 to 35, you have to be an open, or 34.
Okay.
You have to be an open. But any of 35 and up, you can still be an open, which I got my deadlift in the open class.
Okay.
But the bench press is for 35 to 40.
Okay.
So, but if I could have got a better bench press, it could have been the open one. But
Cool. Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't hear about the bench one.
yeah, I screwed that one up. I got the 402, so I did 440 in the gym the week before. So I thought that I had it in the bag, but I had never done over 413 in a meet.
Uh-huh.
So it was stupid of me to jump so high so fast. I did 402, and then I jumped to like 438. You got to do something in between. You're not warmed up to make that big of a jump.
Right.
So I should have done like the 414 and then ended with like a 430 or something is what I really should have done.
Right.
Which I'll be doing in like 3 more weeks when I do my other comp. But I jumped straight to that in such a big gap, and I got it halfway and couldn't finish it because I wasn't warmed up to it.
Right.
I might have got it if
So
I
you
could have
get-
warmed up to
You
it.
get 3 lifts,
3
but
opportunities.
if you miss one, then you don't get a third lift, right?
No, you get a third lift. You
Oh,
get a
you
third
do?
attempt, but
If you
you
miss
can't
second?
go down and wait.
Okay.
So once I did that, once I went for my second lift, went straight to the 438 and didn't get it, I had to do it again for my third lift, or I could say I didn't want to. But if you don't, like if I say I jumped straight into that as my first lift and didn't get it and didn't complete any bench presses, I'm completely out of the competition.
Right.
You can't bomb. You can't just completely miss, or you're completely out.
Right.
Basically
Wow.
like a disqualification type deal.
Wow.
So your first lift always has to be like a guaranteed, like I know I've gotten this for reps in the gym, so I definitely
Right.
got it.
Right. Yeah, I was pretty sad the other day because I did 200 with Jesse not a couple months ago, and I got it no problem. Like it was easy for me, and so then I did 2 weeks ago. I did 3 sets of 5 with 170. I thought, okay, I'm doing 200, no problem.
Yeah.
So I went to the gym the other day with Dad, had him, and I could not get 200. I got 190, no problem. I went to 200, and I tried it a few times because I was like shocked I couldn't get it, and I could
crazy.
not get it. I'd get it,
Huh.
and I could get it off my chest, no problem, which is usually the hardest part for me, and I just could not finish it out. So
So where were you stopping at? Like how far were you getting it?
just so I get it off the chest to like here, and that's it. I wasn't getting to like here and not locking out,
So
but it
that's-
was like right off the chest.
So that's gonna be like lats probably.
Okay.
Not necessarily your chest. Usually right off the chest is your chest. About here then it's lats and chest, and then the top is triceps.
Right.
So yeah, it's probably
And I
your
haven't
lats.
I haven't had any trouble with triceps. My triceps are probably like what would you say, comparatively to the rest of my body, my triceps are probably my strongest muscle right now.
I thought it was your butt.
I'm not working it out, so I don't. It's not what it used to be at all. I know because I tried doing leg press a few weeks ago just to see what I could still do, and it was not, because I used to be able to do 4 plates on the leg press, no
Yeah.
problem, and I was doing 3 plates, and I was like barely getting it.
Wow.
So yeah.
When I do 3
but that's
plates, it
mostly my
generally-
knees.
When I do 3 plates, it generally means a different kind of butt workout,
Like going
Oh.
back.
like food plates,
Yeah.
diarrhea.
Oh wow, diarrhea. Oof.
Interesting.
I thought the joke would be more obvious and.
I
not
saw the
have
3
to be
plates being
explained.
food coming, but I didn't know where the butt workout was coming from.
Yeah,
I,
yeah. I was a little lost in the butt part. I was definitely like food, got it, and then diarrhea part. I didn't see the diarrhea part coming at all.
The ones with jokes that worked way better in my head.
I have a lot of those. Or also, I have a lot of jokes that are just really funny to me, but I don't think they'll be funny to anyone else. So I just laugh to myself, and everyone's like, "What? What?" And I'm like, "I am not telling you
I
this."
do it all the time. I do that all the time.
Like create an inside joke with yourself.
Quite literally, it's inside you. Yeah. Question 2.
What are your thoughts on the Titan sub implosion?
Not sure if it's real.
Really?
I am
Interesting.
so glad someone else said. And I've been saying that since it happened. I'm like, what better way to avoid paying taxes than to for a bunch of rich
Than
people
to
like
pretend to die.
yes, a bunch of rich people to go underwater and because there's no way they can recover a body because
Right.
1, they were like instantly vaporized, and 2, they were like the fish would like devour what wasn't vaporized
And
in a matter of days. So like it's a perfect way to disappear if you're a billionaire.
And the only other thing about it is there's so many flaws with it. How could they not see it? It's bolted
Right.
from the outside, so if it does surface, they still can't open a hatch to get air. It's bolted from the outside, so they would have to find them if it did resurface and it didn't. Like, say they went down there, they lost signal, and it resurfaced somewhere. If they didn't find them in time to unbolt it, they'd lose air. So that's a huge flaw.
Wow.
Multiple issues with the way it was built. It just nothing about it seemed legit or right or real. It was really weird, the whole thing.
And like the families are dealing with a lot of tragedy right now, so I don't want to make light of it, but especially the 18-year-old who was on board who said, I don't want to do this, and begged not to apparently, and he eventually did it just to have peace with his dad who had already paid for it and stuff, and then he died. But maybe not saying that I'm just saying if in 20 years we find out that it was fake, I called it just.
I want to know. So I mean, they did recover it, right? They
Yeah.
pulled it out. I mean, when you open it, would there be fragments and stuff still in there? Be like pulling apart a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? I mean, I'm just curious, right? If you open it up and it's completely clean, it's just metal on the inside, then nobody was in there, right?
I don't think. I think the fish would. That'd be a buffet for fish.
Were they
Even
down there
the
long
smallest
enough?
little. They were down there for 4 days.
That's true, yes.
In the U.S. Army or Navy, had recorded the sound of what sounded like a sub imploding 30 minutes after it launched.
Oh, wow. That's immediate, man.
And then
That's crazy.
they just let people continue searching in hopes of them being alive for 4 or 5 days,
Wow.
It's nuts.
knowing that it was destroyed long before. But I mean, it was top secret military equipment to sense for underwater enemy subs, so they couldn't really be like, hey, we have this top secret technology and we found out and we knew before everyone else and reveal that they had it. So I kind of understand
I
that.
feel like you could do it lightly. Like, hey, we were just riding by and we seen that it was smashed. Just want to let you guys know.
Well, it was in Canadian waters too, so it's not like they had.
Oh.
If I understand it
it
correctly.
Canadian water, to be honest.
I think so. I think they launched from Greenland and went to.
And of course, I mean, they weren't even going to see the Titanic anyways.
They weren't?
No. It's not the Titanic.
Oh, do you think it was the
That makes a lot of sense.
whatever the sister
What?
ship?
Yeah.
So there's a conspiracy that the ship that actually sunk was the sister ship of the Titanic. I can't remember what it's called right now. But because like it had suffered some sort of damage, like
So,
some
wait,
people think that they had purposely sabotaged it in order to get the insurance payout because they wouldn't have gotten it because of the way the sister ship was damaged. The Olympia.
Yeah.
So they think the actual Titanic is just out there somewhere?
No, it was the Olympia. So they switched the names.
Oh.
So the newer ship of the actually was the Titanic. They switched the names on it. So the one that said Titanic was the old Olympia, and the Titanic. So the
Titanic became
Titanic,
the
the new
Olympia.
one was actually said Olympia or whatever.
Okay.
So the
So
whole
is the Olympia still like exist right now?
that I don't know. I've never looked up like where that ship went after all that had happened. But also the part of the conspiracy is that the owner or whatever that of the ships all of a sudden decided not to go on the ship, so he wasn't even there, and then all the
That's
people
dark.
that was like all his people that he was like were against him were on the ship
Wow.
for whatever they were like supposed to be voting for or whatever. So all the people that didn't agree with him were actually on the ship.
And there was like a vessel, I can't remember, I think it was a British military vessel that was at the spot the Titanic eventually sunk at for like 6 hours before it reached there for mysterious reasons and just disappeared without ever reporting why it was there, like anchored for 6 hours. I could be misremembering it, but there was a ship that was like where the Titanic eventually, like 6 hours later, would or 12 hours, whatever, would eventually meet the iceberg.
So
And so they think there's like placing something or preparing it.
Because they were saying that, like, that Titanic itself should have never been ripped that easily.
Right.
Which is another thing. Which is why they're saying it was
Heard that.
already the ship that had issues. So there's, I mean, it makes sense, but who knows? I mean, but so it's a conspiracy within a conspiracy now.
Yeah.
I'm less inclined to believe that it was, of all the conspiracy theories, I think that it was actually the sister ship is more likely than a lot of other ones, but I'm not sure that I totally believe it.
It's hard to believe it. I mean, I can see it happening. I mean, people with money know how to get around things, and they seem to
Yeah.
usually get away with it. So, who knows?
Mm-hmm. It's funny. Yeah, I found the whole submarine thing
Yeah,
weird from the beginning, like how it was such big news, like right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's 4 people. I don't.
So do you-
I didn't know. not that 4 people don't matter, but like Chicago, like. You know?
That's a light weekend in Chicago for
Yeah.
people. But did you also hear like what was going on during that time though?
Was the pilot's son who like posted random like
I
really
saw that.
things
That
on
was-
social media, like ladies, I'm single, and then went to a Blink 182 concert.
They were going over the Biden's laptop thing during the same time as the submarine thing.
I assume. See, that's what my initial
Yeah,
suspicion was just that it's a distraction.
it is.
Just
The
like-
whole
yeah.
Biden laptop thing was going. The whole trial was going on during that time,
Yeah.
and they were focusing on the submarine
Right.
instead.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Which you can say it's just luck, but for it to happen every time something like that's going on. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's more than just like, I'm not gonna say it's just the evil Democrats doing it. I think it's like all politicians, like when there's issues like there was like a scandal with the British Prime Minister, like who resigned after 46 days, like that was barely talked about because there was some celebrity news going on that was taking like all the news, I think it was Michael Jackson versus I almost said Andrew Tate
That would be wild, man.
versus Amber Heard. Not Michael Jackson, Johnny
Wow.
Depp. Like,
I didn't know Michael Jackson ever heard had a thing going on at all.
How could you get that far off?
I don't know.
Michael Jackson and Andrew Tate.
And
Versus
then
Johnny
Amber
Depp
Heard.
and Amber Heard.
I don't know.
It's good.
I love that.
I'm sleep deprived.
Have you seen that clip of Tucker Carlson where he's like, guys, everyone's been saying Michael Jackson is dead for like 20 years, but we have a video.
Oh, yes, I've seen
yeah.
Mm.
that. It's
And-
funny.
Yeah.
It's like Nancy Pelosi, isn't it?
Yeah. It's Nancy Pelosi. It is funny how much she looks like Michael Jackson in that clip, though.
It's because they're both really dead at this point. I feel like.
Next question.
This one is in no way gonna get, is in no way controversial. Do you agree with Ted Kaczynski's thoughts on the Industrial Revolution?
I'm not up to date on that one.
That was the Unabomber.
I don't know what his thoughts were.
He said it was detrimental to humanity, and like we will never get back from it unless we reset to a pre-industrial revolution era. And like then he went on to bomb several. I don't actually know. I used to think he bombed universities because the name Unabomber,
Makes sense, right?
but like apparently it was post offices. I don't entirely know.
It's kind of an awful
I've
name,
never thought of Unabomber as having anything to do with universities. Or, like, I've never even noticed the Una meaning anything. That's kind of fun. I don't know why.
I thought it
There's,
meant like
bomber.
one like single bomber.
Right, like unit unit bomber, United States bomber. This episode's getting pulled.
My thought was like because he's by himself, right? So like isn't Spanish one for like Uno, right?
Spanish one for Uno.
Uno bomber.
Is it Uno, yeah. I think I think we're definitely gonna have a reset of some sort, or something weird is gonna happen for sure. So maybe I agree. I don't think the right thing is to go around bombing post offices.
I think another person had similar themes in their work as Ted Kaczynski, but did it in a much more peaceful way.
Hitler?
No! I was gonna say Tolkien. Like, the entirety of Lord of the Rings is like, the Industrial Revolution is evil, and it's green taking over a mechanicalized army, and the second one literally, like, they had, industrialized an area, and then literally trees came to reclaim it, and, like, that's the climax of the second Lord of the Rings movie. And, he did that without killing anybody.
True.
Also was less direct in his messaging, though. He didn't just release the manifesto to the news and then killed a bunch of people. It's more like after watching it a couple times, I see what I can kind of see an anti-industrial revolution theme to those movies or to those books. Not confronts you, throws you in the face with a pipe bomb.
I missed it. I missed his message.
Oh.
Good movies,
Yeah, I've only seen the third one.
Only the third one?
Yeah.
He doesn't watch movies. We can't talk movies or TV shows with
Are
Jason.
you even a Christian if you haven't watched them?
I don't know. I don't think that's a requirement to be saved.
It isn't?
No.
How crazy would it be if, like, in the very back of the Bible it says that?
And P.S. You must watch all the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit movies in order for Christ to forgive your sins.
All prequels and any TV shows that come out on Amazon later on.
No, that will not. Rings of Power is an insult to Tolkien's legacy. I hate it. I will rant about it.
I enjoyed it. I liked it.
Interesting.
But I'm also not thinking quite as deep on them, probably.
It's like, just... I couldn't get past more than a couple episodes. I watched summaries of them on YouTube, but, like, it was just... like, such... It felt like such a cash grab, an attempt to...
I feel like they all are. Anything that's made after... Well, I mean, when you make, like, a series like that, pretty much anything after that I feel like is a cash grab.
But you can tell, like, the... excuse me. You can tell Peter Jackson's, like, love for the books and, like, the actors' respect for the series through the Lord of the Rings movies. And then Rings of Power is, like... They've never even read Lord of the Rings or any of the prequels. And they just, like, had no idea what they were doing and just wanted to make a fantasy series and slap character names on it and slap Lord of the Rings in order to make money.
And that show was made for people like me.
With no taste.
I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, but I just didn't think too much into it.
I got no comments.
I know you do.
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Oh, this is something you might have an opinion on.
Okay.
So I recently saw that the Narnia movies were getting remade. And it's the director of the Barbie movie that's coming out.
Okay.
Is going to be directing at least the first one. This is like rumors, like speculation, educated guesses. But it got me thinking, like, because Narnia is so much more, like, in your face about its Christian themes, should whoever is writing and directing the movie be required to be Christian?
I mean, who's requiring it?
I mean, should...
What do you mean?
I mean, obviously, like, no one's gonna, like, actually require it, but do you think that, like, it should be a...
I mean, I think everyone should be a Christian.
Yeah. Do you think the series could be
You
done...
think it'll be detrimental? Are you saying, like,
do you think it could be
movies
done-
will be...
stuff in there is what you're afraid of?
Do you think it could be done properly with, like, respect to
not
the
being a
original
Christian?
material?
With
No.
them not... I don't think so.
No.
I also think Narnia is a terrible series to make movies on, because the way that he writes it makes your imagination create the scenes. And I feel like when they recreate them, it, like, you lose all of my favorite parts of the book. You know what I mean? Because, like, my favorite part of the book is, like, the way that it gets your imagination working in the scenes that you create in your brain. And then it's like you watch this movie with, like, scenes that you created in your brain, and it's, like, way lamer than how you imagined it. And it's just like, okay.
And, I think...
You know...
That happens with everything, I feel like.
I think C.S. Lewis had such a
but
great...
not quite as much as with... I feel like Narnia, he writes in... He's not super descriptive, where a lot of books are, like, really... Like,
Right.
every little detail,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
get you.
it's easier to recreate it, where, like, he gives a lot of room for you to make the scene in your head, you know?
It's not like Tolkien using 3 pages to describe a tree.
Right.
Which is... I've only listened to the audiobook, but I've heard people say, like, that's illegitimate. Like, in the Two Towers book...
Wow.
3 pages are spent describing a tree.
Wow. That's crazy.
This is gonna be the longest book I've ever read. Is Narnia the one where they have the magic closet?
Yeah.
Okay. I've actually never watched any of those, by the
The
way.
Lion, the Witch, and the Magic Closet.
The movie is literally
The cat, the old
about
woman.
4 kids coming out of the closet.
Wow.
That actually leads to another question
Okay.
of what is the best book to movie adaptation?
Hmm.
I don't read, so I'm out.
I don't watch movies, so I
That's the bad part. All right, you explain to me a book. I'll tell you about the movie, and we'll see if it.
I mean,
matches up.
I feel like there's definitely got to be some good like documentaries or like biographies
That's lame, though.
that
That's
have become good
Oh.
movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I feel like fiction books, it like the movies never really live up very well. There's definitely been some that have been pretty good though. I've heard.
So I've done the audiobook on some of the Lord of the Rings, and the books are way better in my opinion. The
Yeah.
audiobook is then and the thing is you can't fit everything into the movie. It would
Yeah.
be
Right,
so long.
right, yeah.
That's the problem.
They
You
completely
miss
cut
so
out
much. Yeah.
Tom Bombadil,
You just
which
miss
is like-
so much of the movies.
which scholars still speculate what the crap was Tolkien on when he wrote Tom Bombadil. But I recently I submitted this question because I wanted to talk about I recently, because of work, started reading the Harry Potter first
Right.
book, and then I went on and I listened to the audiobook and then watched the movie, and I'm like, this is a great like adaptation of
Oh yeah.
Most of them
Film
pretty
of
well.
I've
paper
done.
to-
I've heard. I've never heard people complain about Harry Potter movies
mhm.
before. So
Not like the movies. I've never done the audiobook or anything, so I don't know about that part of it. But I always liked the movies, anyways.
I was always like not allowed to watch them,
same.
and then like
Probably
I just
still not.
I'm not sure if you have a TV at this point.
I have my own TV
Does
now.
it
I can watch
work?
whatever I want.
Does it work?
Yeah.
when was the last time you turned it on?
His birthday.
My birthday. Yep. I mean, I'm not gonna like come over to my own house and watch a movie alone.
Why? I watch movies alone all the time. What's wrong with that?
Really? I
What?
would feel
If it's-
so. I would die.
What do you
Like I
mean?
would commit suicide afterward.
What do you mean? If it's a sad movie, maybe.
I
I,
would-
mean, I get that.
I would just feel like
You want to watch
like-
like The Joker alone or anything, you know?
like when I got done with the movie, I would just be like, "Wow, I just wasted an hour, and I feel so lonely."
Oh, I do it all the time. I like alone time.
I
You
couldn't.
kidding me?
But see, when I'm like, if I was alone in my house,
You've never
doing
been
nothing,
You've never been alone. That's
I
think-
would be working on music or something. Like I would feel like I just wasted my alone time. I just watched a freaking movie. Like would feel like I totally wasted my time.
I enjoy wasting time.
That's good.
It's fun for me.
I can't.
I definitely prefer watching movies with other people, but like there's some movies that I just can't.
Well,
At this point, I
prefer and doing that. I feel like I would prefer to somebody else also watch it with me. But if no one else is there, or it's a movie no one else wants to watch, but I do, then I'll watch it by myself.
Yeah, I don't really have like people I can just watch a movie with like all the time. Like
Jason's definitely out.
typically when I decide to watch a movie, it's like 8 o'clock at night, and like I'll watch movies with my parents, but like that is a far different like list of movies I'd watch with my parents versus by myself. Like, and it's not like I'm hiding or watching like 50 Shades of Grey, but like my dad doesn't like a lot of swearing in movies, and
That would be awful to watch that movie with your parents, by the way.
I think it'd be kind of funny.
No, it would
Just
not. I would hate it the whole time.
I disagree with the premise. Like, it's pornography basically.
Pretty much.
Not basically, it is pornography, and pornography is an evil plague on society. But it'd be really funny to watch it with my
Do your
parents.
parents know what
to,
that is? Do you know if your parent, or you probably don't even know if they know. Do you know what it is?
Oh yeah.
Do they know what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be funny if you like Or like rent it, and be like, hey, this movie's about like drawing different shades of 50 Shades of Grey. You guys want to watch it? This is like they're gonna draw any time now. I know it.
I'm sorry, we just gotta get past like the sexual stuff. It's almost over.
Just like fast forward.
Did you ever have one of the clear plays that like cut out? It was like a
No.
DVD player that would like cut out.
I've heard of those. We didn't ever have stuff like that.
I always wanted to just like, it would scratch up discs real bad, and like you would have to keep it updated because it would constantly be updating it for whatever movie. And
Well, I also feel like in today, like a lot of movies, like today, you wouldn't get to see most of the movie.
yeah. I've always wanted to run 50 Shades of Grey through it just to see like
it would look
it
like
would
the
be-
old TVs where you couldn't find a channel. Just the whole movie.
it would I'm pretty sure it would just cut it down to like 2 minutes.
It'd just be like it would
the opening scene and then the end credits is all you'd get.
or just like it'd just be like short little clips where they're like super zoomed in shots. It'd just be like you just get like blindfold, like tying on the blindfold, and then the next scene would be like 20 minutes later, tying down his shackle, and then like the next scene.
Wow, you seem to know an awfully lot about
I
it.
know what it's about, okay? I haven't watched, I swear. I may have read but no, I'm just kidding.
I read the book.
Nah,
There's a direct
I wouldn't. Yet again, I could never spend that much time reading something that's not actually helping me somehow. Continue.
there is a direct correlation between 9/11 and the creation of 50 Shades of Grey.
I don't know. I don't need any more conspiracies, man. I got
This isn't a
enough in my head.
conspiracy. This is just like you can draw a line, like someone who witnessed it, who like from their apartment witnessed 9/11, started going to therapy and writing out their feelings, and eventually turned that to music. And I think that was My Chemical Romance. And then like someone listening to that would try to like turn the edgy vibe into a romance novel, and like inspired by My Chemical Romance wrote Twilight. And then the someone wrote a erotic fan fiction about Twilight, and then eventually changed it a little bit and it became 50 Shades of Grey. So like you can draw a line from 9/11 to 50 Shades of Grey.
I feel like you do that with a lot of things, though.
Draw a lot of lines. You know, one of my favorite correlation graphs is the oppression of women with the tastiness of food.
Ooh, I want to hear this.
Like the more oppressed the women are, the better the food gets. Like have you ever been to like gone and get Canadian food?
No.
Like no. But like Arabic food is like amazing. You know, like curry and stuff like that.
You heard it here, folks. Women, you start giving up your rights. We're going back.
Audrey, this is a red flag. Run.
Not unless you cook good.
The more
Women cook better. You keep your rights.
if you're, you know, the more time you're forced to spend in the kitchen, the more creative you get, you know. Also, just like, you know, it's like, what is this trash? And then, you know, the next time it's gonna be good, you know. It's just,
Oh my gosh.
Even if you're going out to eat, you have her cook and just throw it out. I mean, you know, that way she doesn't, you know, lose any steps. You know.
oh my gosh. Oh man.
Wow.
I like that one. I like that one a lot. Make sure I tell my wife when I get home.
Yeah. Like, you know,
Guess what Jason
Genghis
said?
Khan. I know you're Mongolian, you know, I'm just saying.
Actually, I am
Could
too.
make some Mongolian food.
I am too. I'm Mongolian.
Really?
Yeah.
Genghis Khan didn't oppress
I
women,
really
though.
am.
Really? I thought there was gonna be some
No,
punchline
no,
there. I was like,
no, I really am.
So you got your DNA test? So you had some in there?
No,
Or what?
so I had the blue spot, Mongolian blue spot, just like Kayla had, and
Really?
both our kids had it. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Technically, isn't Genghis Khan like? Isn't his blood in like
A lot.
50% of the world or something?
Something crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like,
Making her whole bigger.
I think it's like 20% of people from Asia, and then like 2% of the world out other than that.
Okay.
So like I could be getting those wrong, but
Interesting. Yeah, I know it's a lot though.
Maybe originally it was that. Obviously, it's getting less and less, right? He's
I w-
obviously not still spreading.
Well, but like, I don't think so. I think it would get bigger and bigger as time goes on, wouldn't it?
no,
No.
Like,
less and
you
less.
get more diluted. Unless you just had all of his like,
I know, but like, just how many people have his genetics at all? Like, we all have Adam's genetics,
That's right.
and then if as you keep going down, it gets more like, you know, less people have the seed of that person. But like, Genghis Khan had so many children that there was a generation where tons of people had his genetics, and so it spread big time. You know what I'm saying? So like, it wouldn't have to be,
That's what you're saying.
and especially if they like carried on his culture and they also had tons of children, his children. You know what I'm saying?
Just so you know, I'm not.
Oh, okay. So, but basically, the farther back in time you go, I guess the more people have genetics of that person. So, like, technically, more people have Genghis Khan's father's genetics than Genghis Khan's.
but like
But-
you're saying that it would become. I don't follow the logic of like
It would be more watered down, but more
Yeah.
people would have his.
Correct.
it'd be more watered down.
Right, you'd be farther from Genghis Khan's actual
I think
genetic code.
Okay,
but-
yeah, I was thinking you were. I just misunderstood what you were saying.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I was just saying, once you get to a certain point, wouldn't the percentage of people that carry that gene grow versus shrink? Like if there's, right? You see what I'm saying?
I do see what you're saying. Right.
Like if
I get you.
you only have one kid, the chances of that kid dying and it spreading is very low. But if you have 1 million kids, the chances that after that you have that the next generation, those 1 million kids have 5 million kids with that
Right.
gene.
You would assume.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You would assume
It's
at least
pretty
one
high.
of. You would assume
It's really high.
Almost every kid is having a kid of their own eventually.
Right. Right. So the
And
more
some
you
more than
have, the
one.
less risk you have of it bottlenecking. That's what I'm saying. So that's why it would spread.
Are Mongolians
But I don't-
Asian technically, right?
Yeah.
So am I allowed to make Asian jokes? And I get in trouble.
I think it just depends on how you look, man.
I mean, I'm not. Obviously, the percentage is very low
yeah.
that I have it. I mean, you know. So I mean, I don't have a lot.
I would play it safe and say no.
I'll do the DNA test. If it comes back that I have it, I'll just carry it around with me all the time.
You know, Nathan has that 1% Nigerian.
Yeah.
Can he
Yeah.
say the N-word?
1%,
You know?
though. I think that's a black question. Like, yes.
These are the wrong people to ask.
Yeah, for sure. Like what percentage of me having that culture where I can use the N-word? Like, is it just solely based on visual, or is it percentage in my my DNA?
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of... It's dumb.
I have like a
dumb.
second cousin 3 times removed who was adopted and she's black. Does that can meet? Like, that's stupid. Like, you can't.
No, but like...
That's a little
But
different.
where do you draw the line? Like,
I just think no one should say it.
that's fair.
I think everybody should say it and just. It just be
No.
another regular word.
No.
Just
no.
dilute the word
Yeah,
down
right.
to where it
I mean,
doesn't matter
make
anymore.
it to where it doesn't mean what it means anymore.
I think we are the wrong people to do that, though.
I mean, listen, Hitler turned a
Oh my-
symbol of peace
what?
into a racist symbol. So I feel like we can turn a racist word into a word of peace.
I don't
Let's
think
just turn
that
it
logic
around.
checks out.
We
Can
should
you
start
blur
now.
my
You
face?
want to go ahead?
Can you blur my face for this? Like, the kids at work see the podcast and like,
Maybe I'll just.
Can you just zoom in on his face and no one else?
That's it. The whole time the camera just tracks Ethan's face, and that's it.
I want to make it clear. You should not say the N-word under any circumstances.
Let's take
Even
it back.
Paula Dean.
Let's take it back.
Oh my gosh. I thought typically I was the edgy person, like.
Well, turns out you're not, I guess.
Even I have lines I won't cross, like.
I'm not saying it.
I will not condone saying the N-word on the internet. That's I didn't think that had to be something I'd have to stand up for in my life, but you know, taking a stand.
Have you seen that clip? Oh, there's guys on a podcast, and one of them, they asked this guy, it's like two white guys and one black guy, and they asked the black guy, they're like, have you ever had trouble with people calling you the N-word or anything?
Yes,
and he's like, no, I haven't. And the guy's like, you ready? He's like, whoa.
I've seen it. Yeah, it's funny. Oh,
It's
man.
terrible. Just to be clear, we are just kidding. In case no one could tell. It was a comedy podcast. I just put a disclaimer at the beginning. This is a comedy podcast. Don't take us seriously. We're all going to hell. Including you.
Everything that's said here is satire. It's post-satire. It's irony and post-pre-irony. And in Minecraft.
This is actually... This podcast was actually made solely by AI to seem like a podcast that typical three white males in this Midwest Indiana would make.
Don't tell them where we're from.
Also, Midwest Indiana is
Yeah, whatever.
it's-
Southern
we're in
Indiana, I'm
Midwest.
sorry. Yeah. You're right. Next question.
Any cryptids you believe may actually be real?
What do you say?
Cryptids. What are cryptids?
Like an animal not recognized by science yet is like a standard definition,
Oh.
but it varies,
so
like
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, but also like there are also like supernatural beings sometimes are classified as it, like the Wendigo or skinwalkers, which make no sense to be. Skinwalkers were like an actual practice by, they didn't like shape shift into animals, but they believed they could take on the traits of animals by like sacrificing someone close to them and then donning the skins of predatory animals. It was like considered bad magic.
So if I sacrifice you and I want to have the powers like a duck-billed platypus,
What?
is that how that works?
It was like you had to sacrifice the person closest to you. Like oftentimes it'd be a brother or a parent or a
Nephew.
child. Yeah, nephew would probably work. I mean, I'm not saying they legitimately actually did it. It was a belief with
And it got you what powers?
the powers of
Animals?
like the animal you donned the skin of, like, so they would oftentimes like start wearing bear skin or wolf skins.
Okay, so you wear a bear skin and then you kill your nephew with the bear skin on and then you become more bear-like?
I don't know if
Because you do quite literally as you kill the person, I suppose.
I don't know if that's actually like
Not if
you'd had to
done.
wear the skin, or if like you could switch skins, like depending on the situation. If you wanted
Wear
to be
your
more
nephew skin and kill a bear, you become the bear?
no, like you just kill your nephew and that like starts it, and then like you could switch skins. Like if you wanted to be stealthy, you could put on like a panther skin. If you wanted to be intimidating.
Now,
I'm not an expert on Native American
If
folklore.
you wanted to be inbred, you just killed your nephew and wore his skin?
now what are the rules? Like, can I shoot him from a distance, or is that to be like physically, like I got to choke him out with my hands,
I think it's got to be.
like a personal kill? Or
Yeah.
like,
Again, I'm not an expert on
no, I'm taking
Native
your word
American
completely for it,
folklore.
it's fine.
I watch a YouTube channel of someone who is an expert, but like I'm not saying I pay that much attention.
I feel like some mushrooms were probably eaten in the process of this.
Definitely.
But like I
Have you ever thought of like, I think I already told you this idea, but like the first people to ever eat peppers, like definitely thought they were dying. Like,
I feel like it was a real hot
like
sure.
they were just like they were, you know, they were going around the woods
we
foraging,
we talked about this.
trying stuff, and like, you know, they got these peppers, and one dude ate them, and his mouth was on fire, and he was just like, just starts crying.
Could you imagine if they found the bell pepper first?
Right.
They're like, yeah, peppers are pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, another one. It's a little bit smaller though.
Yeah. Here, Jimmy, you try it.
And of course, they're probably like rubbing their face too. It's burning their eyes. Like they're
Yeah.
doing all the wrong things.
but then they had to decide to like do it again, just put it on food first.
Could you imagine though, like after they do it, like it was bad for like an hour or so, but I'm fine now.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I
It might
did
not
die.
have been like that. It might have been through cultivating that they made them more extremely hot and flavorful. So it might not have been like the first person to it might not have actually had a negative, like it might have been like, oh, this is a little.
So they were just like eating sweet peppers, and they were just like,
I mean,
what
they're
if we
definitely
bred it to be spicy?
there were definitely like spicy. That's like it's a mechanism to like keep specific animals from
Not eating it like
From eating
humans.
yeah.
I really like these peppers, but I really would enjoy some heartburn with it. So
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about how like
Or mushrooms. Like mushrooms are like such a wild card. Like
Oh, for
you like eat this
sure.
one, oh, you're fine. You eat the next one, you're dead. You
or,
eat the
or
next
you have
one, you're
visions.
you're in a totally different universe when you wake up.
you see clockwork elves or whatever else Joe Rogan claims to see while on DMT?
Oh my goodness!
Is
Yeah.
DMT like come from a mushroom?
No.
Oh,
No,
That's-
but it
that's-
is a hallucinogen.
That is like man-made. I'm pretty sure.
Right, yeah.
For like different chemicals.
Supposedly,
Pretty sure
it's
you get
somewhat
that from
safe though. Like, I'm not saying like spiritually or anything, but I'm saying like it's not addictive or whatever. It's
So
not-
are we gonna do it on the next podcast then? What's happening?
no,
Is that what you're promoting right now?
definitely not. Not planning to do any
I'm
drugs.
out.
Not planning to do any drugs on the next podcast, or at all.
have you ever thought about
Except
like
ibuprofen, maybe.
it's like guys, I'm gonna do ibuprofen.
It says
2
to take
ibuprofen challenge gone wrong.
It says to take 2. I'm taking 4.
Oh man, guys, I can't feel anything.
I don't feel any pain.
Have
All
you
my
ever thought about
scars
just
out.
like how much of a top of the food chain thing it is to eat spicy wings? Like you are one eating like the peppers that made it spicy. That was like over time developed in the peppers to keep mammals from eating it. And 2, you're eating like the part that animals developed in order to escape predators. We're eating like that specific part of them with a specific part of a plant, and like that is just top of the food chain thing, just proving our dominance over the rest of the world.
Well, it's like wearing a rabbit's foot, right? We call it a lucky rabbit's foot. Where you just take the foot of the animal, we're just going to wear it around like showboating.
I guess.
Like where, like how small are your feet, dude?
That's like people carry like a lucky rabbit's foot like on the keychain, you know? Like, like yeah, that's right, I took your foot and I'm going to wear it around my neck.
I guess so. Well, do you guys want to do improv?
You can try something, sure.
We have. You want to go to it? We have some improv.
Oh, okay.
That one word. Prompts.
Doesn't that mean like on time? Like you're prompt?
No. What?
Yeah.
No. That dude's very prompt. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
He's on time all the time. Yeah.
No. That word, I know what word you're thinking. I'm aware that there is a word for that, but it's not prompt.
Are you sure?
That's.
I'll find out.
Isn't that what tactful means? But I know that's not the
No.
word. What's tactful mean?
A definition I've heard is being able to tell someone to go to hell and then thank you for it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, obviously that's not the real definition, but
What? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Punctual.
There you go.
punctual and prompt.
Unpromptly punctual.
So, what is our prompt?
A meeting between Italian mobsters, but one of them is an undercover Fed from the Midwest who has no idea what Italians are like.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
A meeting between Italian mobsters, but one of them is an undercover Fed from the Midwest who has no idea what Italians are like.
Okay.
Who wants to be the undercover?
I have no idea what Italians are actually like. I'll do it.
Okay.
I don't either, really.
Well,
Okay.
I'm like 7% Italian, so
I got Italian in me too, but
I have no idea how
all
to
grew up in the
talk
Midwest.
Italian.
I have Italian in me too, but it's just because that's what I had for lunch. Some
So-
spaghetti.
So what's gonna be your name?
Luigi.
Fabricio.
Oh, I like that, Fabricio. Nice.
Fabricio and Mario.
Ooh, I get to be Mario. Yeah.
I'm Luigi.
Oh no. I have a brother that's got the same name as you do.
I just figured that's like the most doesn't know what actual Italians are named name.
Well, then I gotta have a different name, right? Like an actual Italian name.
Mario and Luigi?
Got nothing. I'm drawing a huge blank.
I don't know why Fabricio came to my brain so quickly.
It's good. Now that's all I can think about, though, for some
Right.
reason.
Just Bob.
Awful, man.
Hmm.
Can I be Sunny?
Sunny?
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh,
Why?
you don't watch movies. I forgot. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
no, I don't. Sorry.
Is that from Godfather?
Yeah, he's like the mob boss.
Francisco.
Is that your name? Must be Francis.
Antonio.
Antonio's fine. I'll take that. Antonio.
Fabricio. Antonio.
Okay.
Luigi.
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 Luigi. What's going on, boss?
Are we supposed to try to have an Italian accent or not?
I think so.
I don't know if that's gonna work out real well. It'd be
feel
real
like
hard to
it's-
figure out who the imposter is at this point.
Well, I feel like we have to try to be Italian, or else it won't be funny if he's just. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got you. So, did you take care of that job I had you do?
I did.
Good. Any problems?
No, I put an M right on his head.
Good.
He's
Good.
he's Luigi's brother now.
Yes, that is
Right, Luigi.
Yes, Mario. Right? That's
Mhm.
very much.
He has
We,
M on head.
We sent him to swim with the SpaghettiOs.
I
And-
don't understand this phrase, SpaghettiOs. Is that the cheap can?
It's the fine Italian cuisine, right?
Where
I don't think so. I think
Do
you're
they
thinking of something
swim?
else.
They
Is
can.
that like Cheerios?
See,
Yes.
What's going on with this guy?
so the spaghetti
Yes, spaghetti.
breed with Michael Phelps.
Yes, yeah, I think you were getting at it because they swim.
Yes, yes.
Interesting.
So I don't understand though what he did to him.
He make him swim.
Was SpaghettiOs?
He swam in SpaghettiOs. I drowned him, is what I'm trying to say.
And the marinette. How?
What?
Where do you get this much sauce?
I
Or
d-
did you waste spaghetti in the ocean?
I was more meaning figuratively. I wasn't actually gonna drown someone. Like, I was trying to not say.
So he alive?
No, I did kill him.
With
I just-
Cheerios.
And put him in spaghetti.
I was trying to be figurative. Is that not an Italian thing we do?
It's a very weird way to put it.
I mean, that, yeah.
Yours makes no sense.
Where are you from?
Carbonaro. In Italy.
Isn't that a sandwich?
You're thinking of the Reuben.
No, he's a singer.
You remind me of American.
My grandfather was American.
And my father was a worm, but I'm okay with that now. You just something wrong with you. You also like speak English like you're trying to talk like a you know what I'm saying?
No, I'm from Italy, just like you guys.
No, he not from Italy.
I'm just from Italy, like you guys.
We're all Italians here, right?
Two of us are.
Me and you. He's not. Is he from Spain?
No. Look.
So can we just go over like the detailed schedule for when the goods are coming in and out? Like,
The goods?
yeah,
No, we only do the bads here. I don't know what you speak of.
the contraband, the drugs. Can we go over like
I
when?
don't like the way he's saying this.
Me either.
I still don't understand the Cheerios thing.
I never mentioned Cheerios.
So you put... I see. So he killed the man.
Yes.
He put him in the Cheerios.
Got it.
The Cheerios becoming soon. He's trying to figure out when they becoming so he can dispose of the body properly.
Because that is the good, because he's dead, so the goods are coming in, so
Uh-huh.
he's coming in. Got it.
Right.
got
So
it.
the spaghetti is the thing, you know?
No.
The body is in the spaghetti.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
got it.
In the Michael Phelps
Yes.
O's.
Yes.
Yes.
I killed Michael Phelps and put him in.
No,
Kill
no,
Michael
no,
Phelps!
no, no.
Is that not what you just said?
Wrong M. Wrong M.
You supposed to kill Lance.
Lance
Bass?
Armstrong? I think that shows like a generational gap right there.
For sure.
I fully understand who Lance Armstrong is.
I know who-
And the whole scandal behind it.
Do you know who Lance Bass is?
No, I do not.
He was the gay
Singer.
member of NSYNC, right?
Yes.
Oh.
I think they're all gay, but I could be wrong.
Like, if you like NSYNC, you're definitely gay. So that's kind of like a proof. Isn't that what you call that? Proof. You know, you got like...
I don't think those things are like... I don't think it's like confirmation you like NSYNC, you're gay.
Do you like NSYNC?
No.
You sound like you like NSYNC.
More
I
of a-
mean,
more of a
they
Backstreet
one
You're
Boys
just
catchy
not.
song.
You're just not trying to be found out right now.
they have a catchy song that's enjoyable. That I think is just, I mean, it's nonsensical, but like, you can't say you don't bob your head when, I Want It That
Which
Way
one?
comes on. Have you never heard that song?
Which one?
I Want It That Way.
No.
Oh gosh. I don't. I think that's the proof of gayness right there.
What is?
If I'm not going to explain it because I don't want to say that.
He's afraid to sound gay. That's what it is.
I mean, yes, I don't want to talk about another man's penis on the internet.
Okay. I mean, it went straight
It sounds
to
like you do want to talk about yours, though.
No, I don't want to talk about any penises. No peni for me.
He talk about the pee-pee.
I don't know if you guys could tell, but I'm not good at improv. I feel like I'm good in, like, when we've done stuff with the youth group, but, like, when there's a camera on, it feels a whole lot more...
It takes some time.
It takes a long time to become
we
comfortable.
did a lot of bad ones before we actually hit our stride and hit a few, what I feel is a few good ones, or at least step ups from where we started.
Right.
For sure.
We haven't had any, like, super hard bangers yet, but we've had
The
some
HR
good
was
ones.
my favorite. I feel like I like that, but the being pulled over one too was pretty good.
Yeah.
That one wouldn't. That's probably my top two that we've done.
Yeah.
For sure. We got another one we're gonna try.
Sure.
Toddlers during the moment of becoming self-aware.
Oh no, that one would be a tough one. I feel like.
I feel like this one would be easier than the other one.
Man. Give me some time here.
I think these are my toes. I feel like these are my toes. These my toes? Can you move your toes?
No. Those are my toes.
What's going on? What's going on? Sorry. Never realized I was before.
Okay. That's really...
Is this where we talk about the PP?
You...
Every toddler grabs beards
I see.
and then throws up on you. It happened to me yesterday.
I threw up today. Did you throw up today? Why am I throwing up?
That's a really hard prompt for me for some reason.
My sole idea was just a screaming.
So we just sit here and scream.
Like, to just initial, I was hoping something else would come to me after I did the
Right? I remember my moment of becoming self-aware.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Nope.
I don't
Specifically.
believe you.
Oh, I remember it very specifically. I was sitting on the floor.
Just yesterday.
I was like, whoa. People can see this stuff.
How old were you?
I think I was 2.
Can't believe you have a memory that far back.
I was sitting on the floor, like right by our front door, you know, inside next to the front door, and it was winter, and so there was like snow on the ground. I was playing with the cold snow,
Tracks.
and I was just like playing with the snow, and I just remember being like just kind of realizing I exist, like it's like whoa. And then I remember like getting kind of freaked out, and I just ran and jumped on Mom's lap. I like
I'm
ran
gonna die
around
one
the
day.
whole- Yeah, I just like laid down on Mom. I didn't say anything, but I remember just being like whoa. Like I had a deep thought for a second.
That's crazy
Yeah.
to have
I remember it super
something
well.
that far back.
I have memory my parents told me from when I was 1. But like I don't remember a specific time of becoming like,
Oh, self-aware.
yeah.
Remember the day I became a man?
Oh.
Yeah. It's not podcast shareable, but
Gosh.
How did you know you were a man?
When I
Okay.
looked between my legs.
one day you will find out.
Okay. I guess so, man.
That one was pretty tough. I had nothing.
Me either, dude. Do you have any other ideas for
Not off the top of my head.
improv situations? Good situations?
If we had more people, it'd be kind of fun. The bad thing is we're only, I don't know how many girls are like in your friend group that would do improv. But I think it'd be funny if you could do improv, like you should have your girlfriend come. She could have improv. We could have done like a dating thing where the three guys are behind like the scene and she asks questions.
Uh-huh.
I think that'd be funny.
That is funny. That's a good concept.
I seen the only reason I think about it because I actually seen it on Saturday Night Live. They did one with an Irish one.
Okay.
And come to find out, like number 3 was his cousin, and like the girl in the middle is like, "Oh, cousin." It's like better chances for me now, and it ends up being better for her instead. Number 3, he's like, "It's gonna be hard to beat number 3." They're like, "Wait, she's still in the game?" And then number 1 ended up also being a cousin. And he goes, "Number 1 and number 3 are looking really good right now." And the number 2 girl's like, "What? The game should be over. I should have won." And the guy running the show's like, "Very rarely have we ever had a bachelor pick his non-cousin when 2 cousins are in the mix."
Wow.
Are you guys afraid of like clubfoots and stuff? He's like, it's like, "You're about 100 years too late."
Man.
I'm trying to think of one where I can do like with 3 people.
I really liked the concept of us announcing something.
Okay.
Remember that one
Yeah.
we announced the baseball
Yeah, that
game?
one was all right.
Man, I don't remember ever editing that one.
I don't think you ever put that one out.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Where is
seeing
that
that.
one? Because that was pretty funny.
I liked it. It was pretty good.
I feel like it should be something. I feel like it should be something more interesting to commentate. Maybe what if we were commentating something old, like that before there were commentators, like the Gladiators or
Oh, that peasants being thrown in the Roman Colosseum, fighting against large predators.
right, or yeah, or like sword fighting or something. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Like a jousting match.
Mm-hmm.
Commentating on commentators for just Roman executions. And then like halfway through things start to go really bad whenever like the sky turns black and there are shakes and basically I'm saying commentators, like sports commentators on the execution of Jesus.
Oh no. How far is he going to carry that cross? Do you think he'll make it?
Looks like they're pulling in someone from the crowd to help them along. If you look up on the hill over there, we'll take a break from our sponsors. You can see Galilean rope in action being used to hang Judith by himself. See how sturdy it is? Ooh, instant snap of the neck. Very good, very clean kill.
Is he still hanging in there?
He's still hanging in there.
All day.
Hey. I just see that next to where like he's hanging.
Take a break for our next sponsor. Looking for a good spear?
This one can get wet and it won't rust. Can take both water and blood. Oh.
What if you were like the commentators for like the Three Wise Men for their trip?
I feel like that'd be boring though, just another
They're
day of walking.
They're walking.
Will they be dehydrated?
They're still walking.
Oh, looks like Miguel's camel just died.
Oh man.
Will they eat it? Do you think you could crack their humps open and get the water out?
No, because it's like it's stored in fat. It's not like it's a water sack. It's just
It's like a
Could
boob.
you like wring it out like a shirt?
sounds like something you should try for the next podcast. Find a camel. Can have the bring one back with them.
I don't know, can you?
Want to cut his hump off and drink its milk?
That'd be funny to cut out of context. Like just like just that. He'd just be like, should I have Zeke bring a camel back from Egypt? He'd just be like, I want to cut his hump off and drink its milk. And that's it. That's just like the first thought to come to your head. I also, let's see. How did we come up with the ones that we've already done? Like,
Just random. Like we literally just sat here and thought of, or at least
Yeah.
we're done. I think maybe for a couple and we've come back with some.
So I do remember when we did the HR one, we were like, this would be a lot better if we actually had an HR person to
That's
talk
very
to.
true. It's very true.
I haven't seen that.
Instead, so it was that he was taking me into HR. Like we were having a meeting with HR because, something had happened, but we didn't have like an HR person asking us questions or responding to us. You know what I mean? So we can do that now.
Okay.
Who wants to be HR, and who wants to be the victim?
I'll be HR.
Okay. Would you prefer to be the victim
Or the abuser.
or the abuser?
Let's do change of pace. I'm tired of being the victim. I'll be the abuser.
Okay.
That's a bad start. Or a good start.
So,
So, are we at a...
been having some issues.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Okay, so not a great start.
Look, Ethan, all the time.
I think I'm seeing it now.
He's,
I think I'm seeing it right now.
Yeah. Could you not right now?
Okay.
Just at least wait for now.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you doing that later too?
Me?
Well, you asked him not to do it right now. So is it happening later?
It definitely is.
So
We kind of have like a don't ask, don't tell policy here if something is happening, just so you know.
okay, so he's touching me, all the time.
Obvious. I see that.
I
It
said
helps me work better.
not now. Anyway, so he's been touching me when we're at work, mostly around the shoulder area.
Got it.
Sometimes he'll just like come in from behind me and he'll just put his finger right on my nipple, like directly, and it's almost scary how well he does it, because like I can't even do that like in just one touch. Like I miss most of the time.
Got it.
Somehow-
Practice.
Somehow he just gets it right on the tip every time, and I don't know how.
Practice probably.
You
Okay.
sleep a lot.
You in my house?
No, I don't go in. I just. Well, you sleep shirtless, and you don't have really good blinds, so I can just peep in.
I feel like you should get better blinds for one.
If he didn't want me doing it, he wouldn't have been wearing suggestive clothing all the time.
I'm in my bedroom, sir.
I mean, at work.
When have I worn suggest?
We have
Right
uniforms. We have
I am not
uniforms.
suggesting anything.
You're suggesting you want me to touch your nipple.
No, I'm not though. So
So why are you touching his nipple?
Helps me focus. I work better.
He has been putting in a lot of good productive work lately.
yeah, and I haven't. You know why? Because I've been getting distracted.
Well, we can write it
Who
up.
brings in more money? Like
We can write it up as teamwork. I mean, if you're part
no,
of
it's only one way street here. He's the only one getting more productive.
right,
I'm not. I'm decreasing in my production because
but it evens out if it's teamwork.
No, that's not how that works.
Yeah.
Where
He's
are
going up,
you?
you're going down, but
No.
right in the middle, it evens out.
Right. So you know what would even it out
What?
is if he wasn't touching me. Then his production would go down a little bit, and mine would go up,
you
and then
wouldn't
it
be
would
able
be
to
evened
afford
out.
your house with crappy blinds if it weren't for the money I brought into this.
That's not true. You don't pay me anything.
Listen, Toon and Shepherd Law Firm has been doing so well and has done so many sexual harassment cases that we've won
It makes a very
since
good
I
point.
started touching your nipple.
Makes a very good point.
Look, we can't. Who do you work for?
I am your psychiatrist. I don't know why you brought this guy.
I am a figment of his imagination. He's
You-
a paranoid schizophrenic.
Then how can you see him if I'm a schiz?
He's
Oh.
also not real.
It's because you've told me about him so many times. I pretend he's there. We're slowly working to the point of you letting him go, but you just seem to not be able to do that.
You're actually
So-
in a broom closet talking to
But
So
yourself.
see,
you're
but see, but see,
trying to
we're
tell
working.
me-
We're working in the right direction because you're having the conversation about how he's not real. This is the first time we've had this breakthrough.
So you're trying to tell me?
He's telling you that he's not real.
So you were trying to tell
Did
me?
you shush me?
You're telling me
Yeah.
I made up a character
Mm-hmm.
in my brain that constantly sexually harasses me,
Because you like
and
it.
I don't like it.
It's because you've been alone for so long. You've made somebody up, and you've told me that you like NSYNC. So it's for some reason it's a guy. That I feel like those are somehow together. If you like NSYNC and you like guys, so I don't know. Somebody told me once that they go together. So I feel like that's what's brought you to this point.
You're talking to a mop head right now.
Would you shut up? Okay?
I'm not even real.
Exactly why you need to be
Neither is
quiet.
he.
Miles. Be quiet.
Have
I'm
you ever
talking to my psychiatrist.
Mop head.
have you ever noticed that you call him a different name every time you say his name? Last week it was Johnny. Today it's Miles.
Listen, Mophead. I didn't call him Johnny ever. He's always been Miles.
Hey, see, you said that last time we called
go
him Johnny.
miles and miles together. We have all
You
the
called
time.
me Ethan like 5 minutes ago.
Look. You can't. Anyway.
Can you focus on me and not your imaginary
I
friend?
would if he would be quiet, as I have told him.
We're going to up your medication if he's making that much noise.
Okay, so what is my medication exactly?
Right now I've been giving you just like aspirin, saying it's something to help you out, but
So you're giving me sugar pills, basically.
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
sugar pills, aspirin pills, dummy.
Look.
Why are you getting so close to me?
Look.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Where are we?
We are.
Janitorial closet of First United Methodist Church.
Oh, yikes. If we had visual, that'd be great. Right when he says that, it just goes black, and you're in a closet with a mop head,
I can't. I got the green screen here, I
and
can
like
do
a
it.
broom behind you. If you could do that, like right when he says that, make it go black, and then put like a broom back there and a mop over here, like you're standing in the closet. Yeah, then you do near the part where you just go, I'm losing it.
I just cut you guys out.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. I totally forgot we had the green screen though. We can totally do something with that.
That'd be great. Like right when he says that, just go black, put like a broom behind you and a mop in front of you.
We should think that we can totally set the scene with that if we want to.
So you need to do like a workplace first, and then as it
Right.
changes, law firm,
All
and
right.
then like an office. As it changes.
That's great. I can make it like my actual office too.
You can use a picture of the actual janitorial closet.
I know that's what I'm
From work.
saying. Yeah. So
I'm good.
okay. You good? We did.
Yep.
All
I'm
right.
sorry for touching your nipples so much. I just need to get in character.
That's all right.
Still in character.
Now I'm starting to question my own sanity.
I would like to find out what the ratio of time in this versus how big the hole in your pants got. Because it was just big enough for you to put your finger in. Now you can put about 3 or 4 in there.
Yeah.
I feel like if we kept going, it'd end up being a fist. Or you could morph that hole into the other holes to make one giant hole.
Oh gosh.
Oh man.
Can we please stop talking about Jason's holes?
Yeah, sure.
Now I'm starting to wonder, is this whole podcast made up? I'm just like,
Could you imagine if,
I'm
you,
like-
if you had like some weird big mental break like that?
I'm like posting YouTube videos.
You just bite
And it's
yourself.
me by myself every time. And there's only half a conversation. And people just watch
That's
it.
funny. You're sitting there like, yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah, cool, man.
That would be such an interesting, like,
It's
What if
social
you-
experiment? What if I just like made a channel, like a totally separate channel, totally disconnected from me, and I just posted podcasts like that, where I just made our real ones, and I just cut the people out, and so it seems as if that's actually how it is.
what if you can't you like post a private video and then later make it public?
Mhm.
So like, what if you posted the actual ones, and like the same time you posted actual like podcast, you posted like a copy of it just without the other person, and then later on deleted the other
Like
ones
a
and
year
made the
later,
old ones public.
Like a year later, you delete all of those and replace them with the other ones, and they'd be posted the same date, and so people would go back to those episodes with the same thumbnail and everything, and be like, "There's like one person here the whole time." Make people think they're going crazy, like a whole
Gaslight the
audience.
public.
Gaslight a whole audience. All right, we're out. I guess.